On the evening of November 13, 2015, the world was rocked by shockwaves. A series of coordinated terrorist attacks that took place in the heart of Paris. The attacks began at around 9:20 p.m. when suicide bombers detonated their explosives outside the Stade de France, where a friendly football match was being held between France and Germany. Efforts to enter the stadium by the attackers were frustrated by security operatives outside the stadium, and in the process of that saw another explosion go off. Spectators flooded the pitch as everyone sought answers concerning their well-being. Truly a night of terror, a night to never be forgotten. The tragic events of that night shook the world and left a deep scar on the collective consciousness of France and the international community. The attacks, which were carried out by members of the Islamic State (ISIL), targeted several locations across the city, resulting in the deaths of 130 people and injuring hundreds more. In addition to these attacks, there were several other incidents across the city, including a shooting at a restaurant in the 19th arrondissement and a suicide bombing at a café on Boulevard Voltaire, both of which resulted in injuries. Simultaneously, that same evening, gunmen opened fire at several bars and restaurants, killing 39 people and injuring dozens more. The attackers then moved on to the Bataclan Concert Hall, where an American rock band was performing. The gunmen stormed the venue, took hostages, and started firing indiscriminately, killing 90 people and injuring over 200 others. Shortly after, the police were able to retake the building and kill the attackers. One of the key suspects, Salah Abdeslam, who had played a significant role in the attacks, was captured by police in Brussels on March 18, 2016, after a 4-month manhunt. He was extradited to France and charged with murder, attempted murder, and possession of explosives. He was found guilty and sentenced to 20 years in prison. Most of the attackers were killed during the attacks, or in subsequent police operations, but a few individuals involved in the planning and logistics of the attacks were later arrested and brought to trial. Overall, while many of the attackers were killed during the attacks, the authorities were able to apprehend and bring to justice some of those responsible for planning and facilitating the attacks. The 2015 Paris attacks were the deadliest terrorist attack in France since World War II, and they served as a stark reminder of the ongoing threat posed by extremist groups such as ISIL. The attacks prompted increased security measures across Europe and led to a renewed focus on efforts to combat terrorism both at home and abroad.